We're back. Like we never left.
Mm-hmm.
Like we never left. What's going on, y'all? Back in the building. Worth Your Time podcast. As you can see, the location has changed a little bit. But the information and the value is still there. So, started. Just gonna dive in. So, so first, so the first question is, if you hopped in a time machine, if you hopped in a time machine and went back to when you was 23 years old, what would you do differently going forward?
Okay, let me make sure I got permission to go on a little rant.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go. All right, 23 years old. You know what's funny? That was kind of when I got my head on straight because it just said 21-year-old birthday or 22 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Your boy was a mess. Trying to figure it out. But damn, bro. It's a couple things I would have did different, but I gotta kind of set the stage and paint the picture. My 23rd birthday, I was chilling, and I was with my girl, which is now my wife. But I had the Audi all road. Thought I was that dude, and I'm like, yo, you drive, just drive for me. She like, what? Like, cause we had just kind of got together.
Mm-hmm.
And like basically I started to talk to her when she was about to graduate. So this was like March. And by August we had been kicking it. And this is the first time I ever asked her to drive my car. But basically I had her drive my car while I'm in the back. I'm feeling like I'm getting chauffeured. And that was my birthday. That was what it was. I'm pretty sure we went out to eat. We had a good time, this and that and this. But I'm gonna keep my answer business wise, right? Because I feel like personal and family wise, everything kind of went the way I wanted it to go.
Mm-hmm.
Got two sons that we actually planned to have. Like it wasn't any accidents or none of that. Planned it out. Everything worked out. But business wise, I probably would be more into real estate. Like I'm really into real estate. Yeah, I'm into the stock market and financial advising. But let me break down why I would have done that. Because it's important for people to know, especially people out there who may be into real estate or want to be into real estate. So the first thing is, at 23, I was working at Upstate, but I had enough time on my hands where I could have been into real estate. I probably just didn't have the confidence to make any moves. I was already studying and trying to figure out, well, how this works, how that works. So first thing I probably would do is go the wholesaling route.
Okay.
Because to me, in real estate, wholesaling is like the foundation. It's like the easiest way to get in. Sometimes the quickest way to make a lot of money. And what would have happened if I would have like say, you know what, I'm about to start wholesaling.
Mm.
I would have started with right here in my backyard, right? So like at the time I was living in the valley, there was houses going, like I'm talking not like run down houses. I'm talking about turnkey properties going for under 100,000. Matter of fact, in 2017, me and my wife started to look for our first house, and there was a house up the hill, basically like in the area of OCC or Corcoran. It had a pool, it had this, it had that. I might have to call this client back, but that house was going for like 80,000 in 2017. So in 2013, you can get a pretty nice home for like 50,000, right?
Yeah.
So let me text him.
So basically, it was an opportunity for a lot of equity and to get into things early because a lot of Syracuse now is like a construction zone everywhere.
So that's a great point, and it kind of goes into our story. Now that we're in a construction zone, values are about to go up. They already been going up, but there's a reason why you see so much construction because everything is being redeveloped, built up, so that property values are going to be up.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to, and keep in mind, at 23, this is 2013. First of all, I could have got into wholesaling and basically kind of just went driving for dollars and drove around to see what properties are vacant and find out who owns them to then get their number to call and say, hey, do you want to sell your house? That's the first thing. So for those of you who don't know what wholesaling is, it would have been me figuring out what houses are vacant or the owner is ready to get rid of them, basically getting the right to help that owner sell it. So if I found a home in the valley, right? Let's just say it was worth 50,000. If I can find a seller who is willing to let it go for like 30, 35, because maybe they tired of it, there's no sentimental value. Wholesaling basically would have been me saying, oh, you want to sell your house? Okay, I can probably, I could probably get you like 30, 35,000 for it. If they say yes, my job is to now find a buyer or an investor to basically buy the home for 50, 55. So let's just say owner says, all right, give me 30 for it. Very quickly, I would have found a buyer, right? And here's why I'm saying this. I would have found a buyer maybe through somebody I knew or just posted online, hey, got this house, it's 50,000. If I can get it for 30 and sell it for 50, I never have to be a real estate agent. I never have to pass any tests. None of that. I'm just connecting the dots. And that 20,000 in between is my profit. I could have took that 20,000 and put it into my own real estate for myself. But as a wholesaler, you basically are just a middleman, right? But if I would have been focused on being that middleman, I would have ended up creating a huge list of buyers and a huge list of sellers. That's very valuable. So, as that happens, and I'm not saying it's easy, I'm saying it's simple. But let's say I could have made 20, 30,000 per deal. I only need like 2-3 deals and I would have made my salary.
Right.
I could have took that money and then invested in my own real estate to where now I'm going to buy a house to flip or buy it and hold. Now I'm renting it out. Because in 2013, most rent was like maybe like $700 or whatever. So if I can get a house where my mortgage is like 500 and I could rent it out for 700, okay, I'm making 200. But I probably would have went towards duplexes, multifamily, so I can have now more. I can times that $700 of rent by how many tenants I have. Right? I was about to say clients, but tenants. So all right, so boom. Now I'm into real estate. Now maybe I own some property. After a while, that if I can rent to repeat, I can either now be flipping homes and kind of people know me for that, or I probably would be on the buy and hold type of strategy, which that's what I would do now. Because if I'm holding it, right, my appreciation is going up. The house is going to be worth more, and I don't really owe that much because back then the house didn't cost that much. On top of that, my tenant is the one paying for the debt, not me.
So that's good debt.
Exactly, good debt, right? And then the other thing is, back then I probably didn't know, but are you saying the question is from like with everything you know now and you go back to 23? Because it's lit then.
For
All
sure.
right. So now here we go deeper down the rabbit hole. So boom. I have properties that I own that I don't have to pay for. The values are going up. I can refinance these properties and get more money and get more properties. And it would have just been a machine of me acquiring properties and knowing what I know now, my tenants would not know I own them. My LLC would be owning these properties, right? Like I have the control. So think of like a puppet master with the puppet on the strings. I'm the puppet master, but the tenants are just paying the company that owns the house. They don't know it's me. And for anybody who wants to get into real estate or the people who are already in real estate, you probably already know, like when the tenants know who owns it, it's almost like the respect goes down.
Yeah.
They will, hit you with the sob stories or, oh, can I pay late? And I wouldn't have been dealing with that. It would have been, there's a system where payment is taken on auto pay. Or at the very least, all of my tenants would have been sending money on the first. Or maybe I would have went the Section 8 route where you basically get the money from the government, not the tenant. But that's that. So, make a long story short, no, not even. We're going to keep this story long. After a while, if I'm 23 doing that, by like 28 when I had my first son, I probably could have had at least a few, at least 5. Yeah. If I was getting one a year and keeping it, now I got 5 properties Who knows? Could have been duplexes, so it's really 10 units or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But the point I'm making is I would have essentially got out of the rat race a lot earlier
Mm-hmm.
because instead of me working for money, it would have been my properties working for me. Where now, first of the month, I know I'm getting paid, and then I could have took
Nice.
that money and did more things. But that's what I would have done, especially knowing what I know now. And on top of that, I probably would have put my people on, like my family or friends, and maybe so knowing somebody with a landscaping company, hey, could you do all my properties? Knowing somebody who is good at bookkeeping or
Mm-hmm.
admin work. I am not good at admin work. Keeping the books, notes, records,
Mm-hmm.
just a log of everything that happens is very important. I'm not that person. I'm the front facing person that can find the deals and make the deals happen. But
Mm-hmm.
the paperwork on the back end, I probably would have hired somebody. And I'm only making these points about spreading the wealth because it would have got a lot easier had I involved more people, especially if I picked the right people.
Right.
But also, I would have been able to spread my wealth. So it's like, what's the point of me making $1 million in a year if now I got to pay tax on half of it? I might as well make the $1 million in a year and pay out 900,000 of it for services and basically to empower the people around me. But then I really only have 100,000 of taxable income instead of $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very important thing. And I think a lot of business owners, they really don't even think about that until they start making money. And once you start making money, it's probably too late. Because now, once tax time comes around, you figure out, oh, I owe how much? So that happens a lot. And then another thing about taxes is most of us we never get educated on it. So you pretty much learn about taxes the hard way a lot of the times. And this is why a lot of people don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
So, from what I know now, I would have been basically tax diversifying. And I probably would have, set up some retirement accounts to just funnel the money in because here's a piece of a game that I hope everybody takes and just either understands or will understand.
Mm-hmm.
Is a certain amount of money that you can make that after that, nothing really matters.
Yeah.
Right? So if I would have got to that point where, all right, I'm making enough money, it doesn't really matter whether it's $1 million or 10 million, I'm good. The more important thing is how can I spread this around?
Mm-hmm.
Because if I'm just sitting there being like a Scrooge McDuck kind of guy where I'm making all the money and I don't want to spread any wealth, in Syracuse, it's only a matter of time before people will start to put together the dots and now somebody hiding in my bushes, somebody following me home. So it's like, what's the point of that? You might as well, okay, I was living off of less before. Yeah, I'm up now, but now I'm going to live off a little more. But all of this wealth that I'm creating, I'm just going to spread it around. Maybe, as my sons get older, give them a job, that kind of thing. So that's what I would have been doing. And I'm glad really to say business-wise, that is probably something that I could probably still do, but prices are up now. And then the other thing is like just to kind of show the contrast of business and personal. Personally, I think everything worked out the way it should, so I'm happy about that. Shout out to my family, of course. But business-wise, it's like, man, I could have been a lot further, but I never really get down on myself because it's like maybe that was supposed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 23-year-old Jordan wouldn't have been ready for all that and would have squandered it. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But that's a great question. I mean, for you, if I asked you the same thing, that was only a couple years ago, though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Is there anything you think you would have done different?
I ain't gonna lie. 23.
Hold on. Let me for the audience. You're 25.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
You probably grown a lot from 2 years ago to now.
100%.
Right. So talk to me about 23-year-old Nation with 25-year-old Nation's mind.
Mm-hmm.
How would that go?
Well, first thing is first, I would have desexualized my mind first.
I don't even think I ever heard that word, but I kind of know what that means. So,
cause like I'm just graduated college. I was a senior. I'm having a whole bunch of fun, throwing parties, doing a whole bunch of just college stuff. Everybody for the most part know who I am and this and that. And it's like if I would have been more on top of my professional side, I could have gotten a lot further. Like once I graduated, which was in May, I didn't have a job until August. So, and that's where I met you at because I had to, find different types of work throughout the summer.
Right.
Because I didn't have, I didn't really have much going on from May to August. So I was working at a pool, doing
You was a
like,
lifeguard?
nah, I was doing like night security.
Oh, okay,
So I
okay.
was working from in the morning. I think I did the Build the Men program from like, from like 8 or 9 to like maybe like 3, and then I was working from the pool from 6 to 12:30. I was doing that every day for the whole summer. So
Gotcha.
I didn't really have much fun in the summer. I was just doing what I was doing. I was, still doing music and stuff. But
Yeah.
what I would have done differently, um, I feel like that time was just so unique because I just had to figure stuff out and figure stuff out fast. Like I didn't
Yeah.
have no room to like play around. So that's when I started making the potion.
Mm-hmm.
And then after I did the potion, I seen that I could have done the potion while I was in college, and I probably would have sold a bunch more while I was in college because I knew so many people and
Yeah.
people just wanted to support. So I just didn't do it because I thought I was gonna. I was like, maybe this is gonna be harder than what I think it is. But once I graduated, I'm like, okay, cool. I bought all the ingredients, made the potion, made a video on it, like a little promo video,
Yeah.
and I gave away a free beat with every potion. So
Okay.
for the
Oh,
promo video, that video has the most views that I've ever gotten on Instagram.
that's right.
I think it did like 10K in like 2 days.
Damn.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was crazy. So I'm like, okay, cool. People jacking the potion. So
Okay.
that was a green flag. I definitely would have, like I said, I would have desexualized my mind because, I was still, messing with, a girl or whatever. And at that time, it was like, I wasn't really like thinking about, oh, I'm about to have this person long term or, I'm just like, just going with the flow of things. And that may have caused me to spend a lot more time doing things that I shouldn't have been doing versus the things that I should have been doing. Like I probably would have been a little bit further than where I am now, but like you said, everything happened for a reason. Maybe maybe God put me in that position so I could just start figuring things out.
Maybe.
And I feel like I had to go through that to get to where I am because it was the struggles that made me kind of lock in a little bit more and then be more like
Bruh.
just learn more and seek more and try to figure like what am I even doing? Like I just graduated. I did 4 years um, at a top university. I'm thinking I'm about to graduate and come out, have a job, be valid. I graduated. I don't got no job offers. So I'm like, I don't know what I'm about to do. And I'm thinking, I'm like, yo, do I go to grad school? And it's crazy because it's a good thing we on this podcast because I'm about to just put college on the forefront.
Do
So
you,
boom.
bro?
So I majored in social work. When I graduated, well, first off, I tried to change my major junior year, and it was too late because you need 4 semesters to change a major.
Okay.
So I couldn't change my major. I couldn't pick up a minor because it was too late. So I had to stick with social work. I like social work. I like helping people. I like referring people services and just being of help to people, which is not bad. Social workers don't get paid that much unless they do a private practice, and then you could get paid. So my thing, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be a school social worker. In order to be a school social worker, I needed a master's degree, or I could be a social work assistant. A social work assistant gets paid $15,000 less than the school social worker. So I could have went back to school for grad school, and the thing with like the district, they have a program where they help people, get master's degrees. The only thing is, they want you to stay in the district for 5 years. I wasn't even thinking. I'm not even staying in Syracuse for 5 years. So how am I gonna stay in the district for 5 years? So that just didn't make sense to me because I'm like,
I got
I'm
you.
not gonna be here for that long.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, cool. Do I go to grad school? Do I pick up the social work assistant job? I just kind of didn't want to. I didn't know what to do. But I got accepted into grad school, and I noticed that teachers and social workers get paid the same thing. And I'm like, do I go back to grad school just to get paid what I could get paid right now, or do I go teach so I can get the money right now? So my thought process. I'm like, I just did 4 years of school. I'm trying to go get paid.
Give me my money.
For real. Like, so I started teaching in August. It was a great experience, but it just wasn't for me. I was mentally drained on a daily basis. I just felt like I was kind of losing myself and that's when I kind of got into a relationship.
Okay.
So that was like, it was just a lot going on. I just felt like I was kind of losing myself a little bit. I'm 23 years old. I just started my professional career. I'm in a relationship. I'm dealing with kids every day. I'm mentally drained at the end of the day. I could have been, in a whole different. I could have just been supported better as a whole because I didn't. I felt like I was just, just trying to pour into myself, and it was hard
Yeah.
for me to pour into myself because I'm giving my energy
Yeah.
out so much.
Your cup was empty.
Exactly. My cup was empty every day. And I was still, somehow, I was still doing music. So, um, to make a long story short, I ended up going with teaching, and I feel like I could have, I could have definitely done things differently internally based off of how I was going about it.
Yeah.
In terms of my routine, I wasn't really too, I wasn't really too in tune with like a routine at all. Like I would just wake up. I had to be to work at 7:10. Mind you, I just graduated from college, so my earliest class was 11 o'clock, like 11 a.m.
Damn.
So I'm going from waking up at like 10, getting to class at 11, and I got to be at work at 7:10. I was late almost every day. Almost every day. They didn't really like me. I'm not gonna lie. Some people didn't like me. I mean, at least like it was just. Of course, I could have been more professional, but I was so young, and I was like, okay, cool. But I needed that. I really needed that. I had to see where I was lacking. If I'm not
Right.
being professional, hold me accountable.
No,
You know,
fact.
it was times where like it's other people telling me something that another person said. I'm like, bro, if you have something to say it to me. Say it directly to me, like as a grown man.
Bro, let me pause you right there because I swear we can make a whole episode about that interaction. I swear. But we're going to keep it going because don't even get me started on
Yo,
that.
that just blew my mind. I'm like, okay, cool. So I try to do a little bit better, and then, I did that from 23 to 24. I did 1 year. I did 1 year.
Yeah.
After that 1 year, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not doing this no more. I gotta go do something else. And that's when I got into that situation where I was laid off for a couple months. Somehow I still pay my bills, not working a job. That's how I knew entrepreneurship was like for me, because I'm like, I'm making money and I'm not even working for anybody. So
Yeah.
luckily, that's when we got connected, and I got the opportunity to be a financial advisor, which is probably one of the best things that happened to me, like
Yeah.
professionally for sure. But what I would do differently overall, to make a long story short, is just find a good routine and focus on what matters. Like, and I definitely would have.
Yeah.
I definitely would have put the women to the side for the moment, for the time being, because you can't give your best if you're not your best self. How can you bring your best self to the table for another person? That's just not fair to you, and that's not
Yeah.
fair to the other person. So I would just make sure I had the little stuff in place first. And to kind of touch on what you said, I used to get into wholesaling. I never like pushed the gas all the way down.
Yeah.
But I was driving for dollars. I'm doing a whole bunch of research, figuring out what it is, how to do it. Because I like the idea. I like real estate in general. And I've
Right.
heard like once you get like 5, 10 properties, then you're at a point where you don't really like your monthly expenses is being covered by just the properties alone.
Exactly.
So technically, you probably don't even got to go to work because properties are paying for your monthly expenses. So technically, you living for free.
Exactly.
And that's where freedom really come from. Like you
Yeah.
getting freedom from having a couple properties that are paying you, and I feel like that's like super important because we always talk about generational wealth, and real estate is a direct path to
Right.
getting real wealth.
Yeah, I was about to say, can I say a couple things
Yeah,
on
yeah,
that?
for sure.
We definitely got other questions we're going to get to, but you dropped a lot of game, but I want to add on too.
Mm.
All right. So,
Shout out EJ, was good.
yeah, so listen. Owns a business. She's owned this business since before I was born.
Mm.
Family daycare. So the county pays her. It's not just babysitting. It's This is a registered thing.
Mm.
So as I grew up, I'm growing up in a daycare. So my chores is like times 100. Like every single day, that kitchen trash got to be taken out. Trash day, everybody bring their little trash to the curb. We got like 5 trash cans. Everybody got like 1. So anyway, so as I'm getting older, let's say I'm 12, 13, 14, 15, you could get your working papers and all that. I'm thirsty to get a job because I've literally been working in a daycare. So 14, you get the CNY Works job. 15, you get a little fair job. But it's like 16 was the job.
Yeah,
like, oh, shoot, I got a job.
You legal.
When I got a job, my mom said, you're going to have to start paying rent. Bro, I lived in the same house until I was 18 years old. So me paying rent was weird. I'm like, what you mean? I've been living here. Why do I? So she tricked me into saying, you can't live anywhere for free. That's a lie. But she didn't know. She probably didn't know. But where I'm going with this is I had to start paying her rent. When I got paid, I had to pay, it was $50 a month. This is in 2007 and 8. So that's a lot to me, especially making $7.25 an hour. But it taught me you can't live anywhere for free, which I now know is not true. But a lot of our elders will say that to basically form some discipline for us to, oh damn, I gotta pay for where I live, which is true. But to go into what you were saying, after a while, you got 5, 10 properties, you do not have to work and you do not have to pay to live.
Facts.
That is freedom, right?
Yeah, you're getting paid to live.
Now I'm gonna give you some real numbers. And it's specific to the Syracuse market. In 2017, me and my wife bought our first house. And shout out to her, we did home headquarters. Shout out to home headquarters. There was 2 options. You could let it take 10 months and they end up giving you like $8,000 to close on your house or whatever. Or you could get going immediately and then they still give you some type of like, benefits or whatever. Trump just got elected and she's like, we are not going that 10-month route. I'm like, I'm trying to get the $8,000. You bugging. No, she was like, we don't know what's about to happen any given day. Let's hurry up. I said, okay. 2017, bought a house near Lemoyne College, pretty nice neighborhood, $68,000. 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. We finished the basement. The basement was already finished, but we pretty much put a little work in to make it look better, but it didn't need anything. 2017, 68,000. Remember these numbers. 2022, do you want to guess what the house sold for?
130, 140.
Yes. So, good guess. So in 5 years, with minimum like repairs, it's not like we put a new roof or something crazy. Basically, you double your money, right? You can't really do that unless it's in the stock market, which is very volatile. You don't know if it's going to happen, or real estate.
Facts.
Here's why I'm bringing up these numbers. And this is me being very transparent because I don't have to share any of this, but it's true. So out of thin air, we've created $60,000 more in value and we sold the home. The buyer comes in all cash. Oh, shoot. And here's another thing for everybody who doesn't know. A lot of times when you're doing deals where the numbers get kind of big, you're never actually touching the money. When our real estate agent, shout out Wanique Green, said, hey, buyers at this price and cash, I'm thinking it's about to be a duffel bag of cash in the living room. We never saw any of the money because it's all on paper. That's something I didn't know. So, okay, you bought it for 68, you sold it for like 140. The money never came to our hands because from that money, now you have to pay what you owe on the house that you've been living in, and whatever's left is yours. Cool. Guess what? We had 2 sons. We need a bigger house. We take that money, put it down on the next house. So the next house is the one we live in. The value of our house is close to $400,000. Since we had that huge amount of money to put down from the sale of the first house, we only owe like $240. What people don't always understand is if we only owe $240 and it's worth $400, let me do some math. It's like $160 in equity, $160,000 of equity that we are living in. What I can do now is open up a line of credit against that 160. Most banks will give you like 80% of it. Let's just say I go to a bank. This is my house. It's worth $400. This is what we owe. They'll basically give me a line of credit for $100,000 or more.
Okay.
Here's why homeownership is very important. if I didn't own a home and I never met my wife and I was just, living in apartments, nothing's wrong with that. But now I'm not in that same situation
You don't have leverage.
at all. And what I could do with this leverage is, I can go buy an apartment, right? I can buy a 2-family, 4-family, whatever. As long as my down payment is under $100,000, and if I got to do some repairs or whatever. But the point is, let's just say I got this $100,000, I'm gonna take and pour it into real estate, which will pump out $30,000. I'm gonna pay that $100,000 back. I'm not gonna live there. I'm not gonna pay the bills. The tenants will pay the bills. And guess what? Once that even before the $100,000 is paid back, but I can now do this over and over and over and over and over. So that's a very important lesson I just had to speak on the podcast, because if you understand that, you can now go and try to run that play. Even if you don't own a home, it's like, get whatever home you can and know that you want to raise the value up. This is why people like to buy, kind of messed up houses, because you get it for the low. If you got a good team that can, basically put it back to turnkey position, you can now hold it and rent it out or sell it and flip it. The only thing about flipping that I don't like personally is you get paid one time.
Facts.
So even if it is a great big flip, you get one payment, as opposed to now I can hold it and just collect rent every month.
Every month for as long as you got a client.
Exactly, and what happens is the value of that will go up. The value of that property will go up, and you can take that leverage and go do it again and do it again. And it only really works in a market like ours because our home prices aren't super inflated. If I was in the Bronx or Brooklyn or Manhattan, none of this wouldn't happen, because there's no way to do it. Facts. So very important stuff.
So you said once you put what you had onto the second house, you had about 160 of equity. So can you explain the difference between a line of credit and like just a regular basic secured credit card?
So I'll give you one even better. So a line of credit is what you may have heard is called a HELOC, Home Equity Line of Credit. A bank or financial institution will give you basically a line of credit that kind of comes from the equity you have. A lot of people get tricked into doing like a loan, like a home equity loan or refinancing. And I say you get tricked because let's just really think about what I'm saying. You can go HELOC and have basically a credit card with your equity on it to go spend on whatever, and you got to pay that back. But if you're buying an asset that's going to pay you, you're fine. Or you can refinance, and now maybe the cost of your mortgage goes down, but you now have another 30 years to pay. So they trick you into thinking, oh, well, your payment's lower. It is, but I'm gonna be paying it for 30 more years. What if my loan was about to come due in the next 5-10 years? Why would I add on another 30 years? People do that all the time, and it's just because they don't know. So what happens is you have the line of credit, you can go and spend on whatever you want. But if you have the loan, it really just brings down the payment that you have to pay every month.
And that's where that mindset come in. Because you got to think about, okay, do I want to pay less every month, or do I want to utilize all of this leverage to make more money? Right.
It's like basically, yeah. So you want to pay more every month, or do you want to create a way to generate more income? That is that. When you have it like that, it is very obvious which one is better. But a bank usually doesn't tell you about a HELOC. They try to keep that on the low. They're like, oh, we got this, home equity loan, or you know what I mean? Basically, they make it so that they win. Because if you refinance and pay them 30 more years, they are winning.
Yeah, that's a fact.
It's a big, big thing.
And the banks want to win. I mean, even sitting the money, like we was talking about last episode, sitting the money in a bank account, you get an annual return of less than 0%. Exactly. So it's literally, doesn't really have as much value as investing or a high yield savings, or some type of account that allows the money to grow. But so why do you think credit is like important in general? Like having good credit and being able to leverage credit?
Because you can use it to get more assets. That's the main thing. And I'll be honest, a lot of my life was cash is king. And at this point of my life, I'm not saying that. I'm not. It was a point in my life where I wanted to have a wad of cash in my pocket, in my hand. But now it's like, that's not really doing anything. You know what I mean? So if you have good credit, you have access to more funds. And if the bank or whatever institution thinks, I can give this person X amount of dollars and they can pay it back, they will always do it. That's literally the bank's job, is to lend out money. But if you, as the let's just say the investor, are savvy enough to know, I owe the bank plus interest. My job is to get the money back that I owe plus more interest. People live their life off of that, because it's like, I'll be better off being in debt to the bank if I know that I can take the money they give me to create more money to pay them back and keep some change, basically. People do that all the time. Wealthy people do that all the time. So credit is basically a way to have leverage. So if you were starting a business and you got good credit, now you can go to the bank, hey, this is my business. Because of my credit, can I have a line of credit so that I can go run my business up? Cool. If you got bad credit, you can't do that.
Facts.
But if you got good credit, let's just say I'm a bank and you're, coming in trying to get a loan, get funding, and I see you got pretty good credit. If I gave you 50,000, you could go run a few plays. You jump into real estate. You keep it simple. I'm gonna go buy a couple vending machines. I know a dude who has healthy vending machines. The ones that are in Fayetteville, Y, his business is, we have a healthy vending machine, and the Y lets me put it there. He's collecting money just like that. So if you were to do that, it's like, now it's a lot simpler, but all you kind of have to do is know these vending machines will create the money I need to pay the bank back. Once the bank is paid back, these still my vending machines.
You're just making money for the rest of your life.
Right, and those are just two quick examples. But it all started with having good credit.
Facts.
So, and one other little disclaimer I want to throw out there, because what I see is, oh, you get, you can get funding, you get business funding, no LLC required, no paperwork, no. 9 times out of 10, I'm not believing that. But what they leave out is, you are the personal guarantor. So even if your business is just getting started, is really nothing, the bank is looking at you as a person who is guaranteeing that the loan will get paid back. So when you got good credit, you can do that. But then, you run the play whatever way you see fit. Because if you mess the money up, you still owe the bank. So that should obviously not be the situation you fall into. It happens all the time. But just knowing that, like, anybody who sees this, make sure your credit is right, because it can put you in position to run a few plays.
Okay. So let's just say someone has good credit, they haven't been a homeowner yet, and they want to utilize credit to start real estate. How can they kind of run that play?
Well, there's a few different ways, but what I would say is that person, I would hope, has a job too, because the job is another, like, kind of like another piece of, like, ammo. Like, yeah, you got good credit, oh, you're going to get funding, but you got a job too? Oh, okay, it's up. Because now, if you want to jump into real estate, if I were that person, go to home headquarters to find, first of all, to get the best deals. Like, home headquarters is heavily connected in the community, so you might be able to find some off-market deals. You might be able to find, kind of like what happened with us, is like the house that we got, somebody else was going to get, but then they backed out. And before that news hits the market, you can slide in and be like, well, I'm going to buy it. That. But when it comes to real estate, it's like, it really kind of depends on what way you want to go. Do you want to, okay, I'm going to jump into real estate and buy a primary residence where this is where I'm living? You can do that. I wouldn't do that, because how can you now turn that into money? Unless you're gonna house hack and just go, all right, well, I'm going to live in the bottom, but I'm going to rent out the top, whatever. Or, just kind of look for that 2-family. Look for that maybe 3-family. On my mom's street, it's like an 8-unit building I just sold. I'm hating, because I'm like, damn, I wish I could have. But that building has been, excuse my language, a piece of shit my whole life. But somebody just put new siding, new roof. So I'm like, damn, whoever did that is about to be eaten.
Facts. Fix
Right?
and flip.
So that's another, like, let's just say that person did that. Used their credit, found a horrible property in a not so bad neighborhood, gonna take some of that credit to renovate it. Now, I think it's like a 6-unit. So it's like you literally have 6 doors you collect money from every month as soon as it's done. So that is one example. I can give you a million examples, but like that's what I would do. Find a way to not get a primary residence, go and find a multi-unit so that you can live in it for free, because you probably have to. FHA will make you or whatever for a certain amount of time. But like, to give you numbers, imagine if you got 100,000 in credit and can finesse that deal, because you really only need that down payment and then whatever money goes into fixing it up. If that all comes to 100,000, it might be worth 250 or 300. Your property.
Yeah.
You can go refinance, basically pull more money out to pay the existing loan off, and now you just got a new mortgage that might be higher, but you got 5 other people helping you pay the bills to that
on a monthly basis
every month. And then once it's paid off, it's still yours. Yeah, you got property taxes and all these other little things that don't really matter when you got 5 people handing you money. Let alone if you want to move out and do it again, now that's 6 people. So you move out, have somebody else move in, and maybe by then you get a property manager, pay them a little bit, so you never really have to worry about any of the troubles that come with it. It's just take your cut, and I got all the rest of the money, and that's that.
Facts.
So that's a little game for you.
That's a lot. That's a lot of game right there.
Yeah, I hope they're watching because it's all true too.
Yeah, he said the kids. He said he put it on at HW, so the kids watching.
Let's go.
Yeah. So that's actually something my pops told me a couple years ago. Because it's so much help that you can get from being a first time home buyer. You got FHA, you got NACA. You go to Hope headquarters.
Not to mention, people in the military, they get VA loans. You basically get you don't have to pay a down payment ever. You can have 50 homes. If you're in I'm telling you, that's the only thing I do kind of regret, like, because I was never gonna go to the military, but that's a benefit. Basically, like, as being a veteran, like, you can have down payment forgiveness or whatever. I forget what it's called, but they don't have to pay down payments, and it's not once. It's like for life.
Wow,
that's ridiculous.
I see a lot of people in the military building homes from scratch.
Because if you think about it, it's like, depending on where you are, it might be cheaper to build a home from scratch, or depending on your plans, you might be doing that just to have the illest home with the highest value to now get that HELOC and go do it again. Because now you don't have to worry about down payments. Down payments can be a lot of money depending on the house.
And they got to be liquid.
Well, yeah, I mean, they want the money. Like, when you're at the closing table and you don't have the money and there's a stack of contracts that has to be signed, it's like, well, you won't be getting the house. That's just what it is. That's how it goes. Like, it's not you don't get a loan on the down payment. Like, no, the down payment has to be right here. So that's that.
So if I got a credit card with $50,000 and the house is $100,000, I got paid 10%, I could use my credit card.
So here's the thing. If it's an investment property, you're saying I'm not living in it, you got to do 20%. So there goes 20 grand.
Well, all right, but you can still use the credit card.
Yeah, because here's the beautiful thing about money. Most times, people don't care where it's coming from. Most times, don't get me wrong. We got anti-money laundering that we got to worry about. But yeah, like the money, the actual currency, and this is why I brought up the fact that, like, it's not really ever going to be cash. It's not going to be a wad of money. So it's basically numbers on the screen, bro. Yeah. So, okay, the credit card company goes, I just gave Nashawn 50. You didn't touch not one single bill. But when you go to take that card and, okay, this is what I'm using to, basically do my down payment, they're just putting a $20,000 lien on your credit card. Saying, okay, damn, he down to 30, but yo, he owe us 20. So it's funny how money gets circulated where nobody touches any money. It happens all the time. But that's how that goes. So you will have 30 left. What kind of repairs you looking at? Maybe not many repairs, who knows? But the point is, you in your mind know, okay, I got 50, I'm using some of it for this, I'm using some of it I gotta pay it back though.
Dang, but I ain't gonna lie, that's some real play right there. Because what if you put 20 for the down payment and then put 30 or 25 for repairs? Yeah,
it's probably gonna be another 5 or something that's fees and this and that. So you end up kind of broke. But this is why having a job or W-2 income helps, because so many people think, oh, I'm gonna be an entrepreneur, I'm gonna be this, I'm gonna be that. I don't need a job. That job will save you a lot of times. So if that were the case and you maxed out this credit card, it's not so bad when you got a job. Yeah. If you don't have a job now, you thirsty to get it renovated just to now get it on the market to basically start collecting rent because you're going to be in the hole.
Facts.
right? So if I were you, I'd be like, don't run that play unless you got like 100 on the card.
Mm-hmm.
Or, okay, if you running that play, then I would hope you living in it so you don't have to put down 20.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing, because like a FHA loan, I believe, I could be wrong, you only got to put down 3.5%.
I think so.
That's a whole different bag then, because now you got a lot more of that money still in your hand,
Yeah.
as opposed to putting the 20% down. So,
So I can technically say I wanted to live in a duplex or a triplex. I'm living there, but I'm an investor at the same time because somebody is living in the other units.
I mean, technically yes, but you wouldn't say that. You live in there. It's my house.
Yeah.
Straight like that. I think I sent you the Millionaire Mindsets podcast where the person who does NACA was saying how like he got a 4 unit, he collect 3 people's rent, and he lives in the one.
Yeah.
And that was his play, and he's still living there. And then he told his girl to run the play because they wasn't married.
Yeah.
So they literally got 2 buildings, and nobody paid. He said he ain't paid rent in 10 years because he collects rent.
That's the way to go. I ain't gonna lie.
And
that's
why
why
I
I'm
said,
like,
yeah,
I'm a rent for now, and then once it's time to get a
your
a property,
multifamily.
for sure.
Yeah.
That's definitely.
Let me add on something too, because too many times people who are not homeowners, they want their first home to be the forever home, and it's like, nah, don't ever do that.
Yeah.
It's never gonna be what you want. Plus, it's like that. Likely, you will be tired of it. So if you don't own a home, your first home is probably not your forever home, and that's okay. That's normal. That's regular. So just know, all right, well, I'm getting this to get that. If that's your play, you are in a better position than, damn, I want a home. I'm in this apartment, but when I get a home, forever home. No, it's not, bro. It's not. You're going to be so tired of it in 5 years. I'm like, damn, I might sell it. So.
And you get mad help just by being a first-time home buyer. So many things and companies and programs that you could leverage.
So many. My boy, and not to put his business out there, I ain't going to say no names, but he left from closing on his first home. He left with a check. He got paid to get a house.
Really?
So I always bring that up to the people who think, oh, no, it costs too much. Listen, if you're not going to be a homeowner, if you're not planning to be a homeowner, it's probably because you are misinformed. Because if you knew what I knew, you would never want to stay a renter for life. It just wouldn't make sense. So, yeah.
Wow.
Got paid to close on the house.
That's the goal.
Yep. Shout out to Home Headquarters because they helped in that regard.
That's definitely the goal.
Exactly.
So, given how people can leverage credit, how you can leverage different programs that help you get a first-time home, how can a person get their credit up?
It's a few different ways. I help people with their credit, but the main thing that messes their credit up, or the main thing that affects your credit, is late payments. But you can use AI now to send out basically letters to the 3 credit bureaus stating how late payments are technically illegal. You get those removed so that, okay, boom. And just so everybody knows, repairing your credit is at least a 90-day process. It's not going to be boom, 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 tomorrow my credit shoots up. Everybody would do it if that was the case.
Yeah.
But it's 90-day process because every bureau gets, I think, 60 to 90 days to even respond. You might send a letter today. They could wait to the 59th day to respond to then keep the ball rolling. So if you want to repair your credit, know that it's going to take a little while, but it can be done. And for anybody who has, let's just say, okay credit and you want to like boost it, go and get a credit card, maybe a secured one, maybe not. Get the credit card to solely use for things you already have the money for. So, okay, I'm gonna get this credit card because I'm already buying groceries and gas. Let me just buy it on my credit card to make that look good because I'm going to pay it back within a day or two. To where now a credit card company is like, damn, hold on, he just swiped for $200. Oh, he just paid it back the next day. Oh, okay. And then like a credit card company wants to see that, right? And that's how your credit score goes up. But they also want to see you default, and it's like, now we get to hit them with the interest.
Yep.
So this is why you don't really see credit card companies going out of business. Like their whole job is to either finesse you or give you credit and see what you do, and then you pay it back, and then they give you more.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead and ask for an increase after a couple months of no late payments, no missed payments. They will definitely give it to you.
There's some companies out there that like, when people start applying for like student loans and stuff like that, they start going to college, they'll give people like $20,000, $30,000, knowing that they're gonna mess it up because they don't have no credit history.
Yep.
So they're really trying to just like you said, they trying to finesse people
Exactly.
because they know they're gonna mess the credit up. They're not gonna be able to pay it back, and then they're gonna be in debt. Now they in credit card debt. But if they knew, how to run a play, of course, when people going to school, they're young and stuff like that. They're not really like thinking about that. But
Yeah, exactly.
if
This is why I was scared of credit cards when I was in college. I didn't have a credit card till I was like 26.
really,
Cause I know that's the game, and I didn't know enough to stay away. So I just
Yeah.
was like, all right, I'm not anything. That's why I was all cash everything.
Yeah.
Cause I'm like, I'm not using credit cards. I'm afraid of what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Cause I never knew, and then I asked my grandma, and she put me on. I'm like, okay, so by 26, I knew what I was doing. But still, this is really how our economy is set up. Like around Christmas time, birthdays, like you kind of start to think of it like, oh, I got this free money over here on my credit card. It's never free.
Yeah.
It's actually the most expensive money you ever gonna get.
Facts.
So you kind of have to know I'm only buying things I can already afford. People will buy stuff on the credit card like, oh, I just pay it off or cut it out. Buy the stuff you already got in your debit. If you have the money in your debit account, you literally connect your debit account to your credit card on your little app, whatever app you got, and you pay it like immediately. That way you'll never have a bill.
Facts.
And you never have to pay interest either.
Damn, that's a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Now I think that sometimes people can get caught up to where they got so much on their credit card, they like you said, they kind of just like, yeah, I'm gonna pay it back. But like low key, when it comes to credit, you're supposed to stay under 30% of whatever your credit limit is, so that your credit can grow a little bit faster.
For sure.
And then pay your payments back on time. Stay under 30%. And then having a good amount of available credit raises your credit score too.
For sure. Because they know you're not thirsty to use it.
And I feel like when it comes to credit, I mean, like when I got my first credit card, I went through Empower because I have Empower. And I had to do a secure credit card, and I applied for 300. I'm like, 300, dang, that's not much,
Yeah.
But they wanted to see pay stubs. They wanted to see,
Exactly.
did you have any credit history? Have you been paying on anything like a car loan, a car payment? That goes towards your credit. So if you pay that, continuously on time, all the time, that's building your credit up. A mortgage don't even count. I think a mortgage may count, but paying rent don't count.
Paying rent doesn't. I hear they got this thing you can.
Yeah, it's like an app called Boom.
Yeah.
Where you can track your rent payments, and it'll go, as long as you pay it on time, it'll go towards your credit and boost your credit up.
Yeah, I think it's important to say right here, like the key in credit and anything is making your payments on time.
Yeah, for sure.
That is literally the key. It don't matter what card you got. If you're not paying on time, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over. Or you're doing a minimum payment, which is not bad, but it's like they really got you then. Because if you owe $1,000 and you paying a minimum $50, it's like that other $950 is what's being charged the interest. Like, okay, $950, good, okay. That's how they stay in business.
Yeah,
that's
facts.
all it is.
And Empower gave me, I applied for 300, they gave me a 100. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool, I guess. But like, I knew how to go about it, so I was just using under 30%, paying everything off on time. Like, I probably use like, maybe I like get some snacks or something and just pay it off, and just go about it that way. But I think maybe like a year after, I went to Chase, got another credit card. They gave me a bigger limit. And Chase is more, I don't know, because Empower is a credit union.
Yeah.
So they want to know, they want to trust you.
And more
a
strict.
bank is more like, they're a little bit more lenient, depending on where you go.
Because the bank is hoping you mess up too. So it's like, like the bank is, they'll be a lot more lenient. But let me ask you this though, with the Empower credit card, did they ever up the limit, or did you ever ask, or nah?
It's crazy because after, like I said, I had it for a year, and I already knew how credit works. So I probably did this when I was like maybe like 21 or 22. So I did it a whole year, and I already had my Chase credit card and stuff like that. So I wasn't really worried about Empower, but I went to go see if I could refinance for my car. Yeah. And they was like, yeah, your credit's pretty good. Like, you should try to increase your limit. So I had 100, but they basically increased it from 100 to 500 because I had good credit.
Right.
Which they wasn't trying to do when I first opened it. And then Chase did the same thing. And Chase is it's an app. So I just go on the app. It says,
raise your
do you want a credit increase? I'm like, yeah, for sure. Because my available credit increase, my credit all around is going to increase. So
exactly.
I basically increased it for Chase, and then I increased it for Empower.
Yeah.
And then Money Man be talking about stuff. He like, yeah, go to a bank, open up a credit card, cut it up, throw it away. People
What?
don't be people. He said that because like it's gonna raise your available credit, and that's gonna help your credit score, but also you won't ever have a missed payment. So I see where he was coming from, but
Okay.
also some people have it multiple, and I
He
watched a
giving the
video today.
janky knowledge, but
Some
it's
people,
true.
but some people, some people don't have like if you throw it away, you will never miss a payment,
Yeah.
and you got more available credit. So that's ultimately gonna help. But because some people maybe have like they got it in their possession, they might
Temptation
use it.
start. Okay.
So I see where he was coming from, and that's why I went to go open up Chase. I didn't throw it away, but
Yeah, I was
that
gonna
was
say
the only
cutting it
reason
up and
why.
throwing it away is
Yeah.
insane. You just leave it at your mama's house or something.
Yeah,
Like,
facts.
cutting it up, like, no. But I see the function of why he said that. So,
But he low key put me on the credit game. I ain't gonna lie.
well, that's
So
good.
that's the only
Shout out
reason
to
why.
Money Man.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I opened up Chase. But to kind of pivot a little bit,
Okay.
to given a lot of times when we talk about on a podcast, we talk about life a lot, and to get from point A to point B, most times people got to lock in. What does lock in actually look like? Because people underestimate work.
I think lock in is it's gonna be something different for everybody, don't you think? But I mean, I would say lock in. The main thing, and I'm gonna say for me, I'm gonna keep it real personal. When I say I'm a lock in, it's usually on a Sunday after you get the little notification of screen time. You be getting that,
Yeah.
bro? My screen time be ridiculous. And what I'm saying is, if you took the amount of time where you just doom scrolling, you just scrolling, just. Now I'm not talking about when you're not doing nothing, like you on the toilet, like or something. Like I'm talking about when you literally are in a position where you could be doing something productive, but instead you scrolling.
Yeah.
A lot of hours are lost just like that, and it's happening more and more. And I'm just saying for me. So I try to say, you know what? All right, let me put this down because with this same amount of time right now, I could be doing something that's either going to generate me some income or kind of retain income I already have or learn something, right? So if I'm all right, let's just say from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep, if 3 or 4 hours is just me like scrolling, it's funny, is this, is that, none of it helped me though. Like maybe some I learned some where it saw like a little cool fact. The point I'm making is with those same 3 or 4 hours, I could have done something to either make myself more educated, be able to help my clients better, or make some type of connection to where now a seed is planted where it's going to grow at some point. Locking in, for me, is not scrolling and using that time to generate income or plant a seed for later on to make some money. Or, like I said, or at the very least, educate myself. But to be honest, let's use wholesaling as a example when locking in. That would have been me going, I'm going to get a pen and paper and literally make a list of buyers that I know. I'm going to find buyers so that when I've come across a deal, yo, guess what? I got something for you. That's one. The other thing is driving for dollars. You could lock in and drive for dollars and know, all right, on the west side, I've seen 5 properties where I think could be something. East side, 6, and so on. It's another thing. Sports-wise, you play sports, right? You playing now. Even, it's flag football, but like I would bet that you want to win the games you're playing in, right?
100%.
And I would bet that if you play on Sunday, there's a certain amount of locking in that got to happen on Saturday maybe or maybe Sunday morning so that you can win the game. But if you didn't lock in, and we outside, you got a bottle of Don Julio on your head, you eat Burger King or whatever's open late, you not locked in.
Nah, not at all.
You're not.
Not at all.
So I could give a million examples, but like to go back to I think the point you were trying to drive home, people don't know what real work looks like. It's because we done made everything so easy, and it's not much that people are asking anymore. Like I feel like back in the days, you might have there was a higher expectation for everything. Now that bar has came down to where I really don't gotta go that hard to get over this bar.
Mm.
So I think as a society, that is what's wrong with us. But to have a optimistic approach and outlook on it, maybe our society going that way makes it easier for the people who can lock in because nobody in your way. It's not a
Facts.
ton of people locking in.
Mm.
The other thing is, just being able to block out the noise will help you level up. And I say that with my whole heart because I don't think you can level up with a lot of distractions,
That's
that
a
the
big one.
women, social media, or just nonsense that is floating around. Like, you can't really level up like that. And the only time I felt like I leveled up was after blocking out the noise.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's a fact.
yeah, man.
I definitely agree with that. Distractions is a big one because it's distractions everywhere. You leave the house, it's distractions.
Yep.
That's why, like, low key, I've been spending mad time in the crib. Like, I ain't been going nowhere. Like, I'm going to work, or I'm at the crib, or I'm going to get food. That's it.
Yeah. Or the gym.
Yeah, or the gym. Facts. And I feel like that's helped me kind of just, kind of like, COVID was unique because we was isolated.
Yeah.
And it's like it was two types of people during COVID. It was people that was like going backwards, and it was people that was locking in and learning stuff and
Running
trying
it up.
stuff and starting stuff. And it's like, you got two different sides, but like being at the crib and being isolated, that's like one of the biggest ways, or one of the easiest ways to lock in. Of course, you can kind of get distracted from your phone, but that's why we got to put our phone down. I've been thinking about this one thing, like, since I'm doing the content and stuff, I'm like, one of these weekends, I must do a challenge for the weekend, so Saturday and Sunday, no phone at all. Like, lock it up somewhere, don't use
So
it.
you just out here like it's 1993, like
No phone.
you go to the grocery store, you better not forget nothing.
Yep.
Like,
You got to bring a piece of paper or something.
like if you got a little, a little shorty, you better tell her before because she gonna think something happened.
Or just get you a little, you can answer calls.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
Like,
it.
because I see what you're saying is no phone. I'm with it, but it's like the phone is a means of communication.
No social media. How about that?
That would be easy.
No social media.
That would
all.
be so. I ain't gonna say it's gonna be easy. Let me stop. I'm not gonna cap on the
That's
lie.
95% of people wake up and get on social media.
Immediately. Didn't brush your teeth yet. You just scrolling.
And the morning is so
We not
sacred.
judging though.
The morning is mad sacred.
Yeah, facts.
Like it says, like, if you want to hear God, you wake up and you meditate.
Yeah.
It's quiet. You close your eyes and you just listen. You don't even have to say anything to yourself. You just listen, and then stuff just comes to you left and right. And
Bro, that's a thing. That really does happen.
and it's like you don't really know where it's coming from, but it's literally coming directly from.
Because you don't block out the noise.
Facts. And even in the Bible it says, very early in the morning, Jesus got up and prayed. If Jesus did it, he's doing it for a reason. So it's like that's the direct correlation.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I see.
being sacred in the morning, isolating yourself a little bit. You don't gotta do it every day, but staying in the house. Because if you're staying in the house and you just by yourself, your decisions aren't being altered by any other person. Like when you with people, you might do something just because somebody said to do it, or somebody said something about
Influenced.
it. Yeah, I'll give you an example. So I'm in Jersey, and they got the little self pump thing. So it's like lines. It's like 4 lines of people
Like pumping gas?
It's 4 lines of cars,
Okay.
and a person is pumping the gas at each one of the pumps.
Yeah.
So I'm at a pump. The car in front of me is getting their car pumped with gas. I'm like right behind the person. It was a spot that opened up like quick. A spot that opened up. My boy's like, yo, go. It's a spot right there. And I'm just chilling. So I'm like, oh, all right, cool. I just turn the wheel. I go over there. And mind you, I'm not trying to like rush into a spot. I was really just chilling for real.
Yeah.
But I go over there. On my way over there, it's a car coming. And the car basically, it was just in a line. That basically just moved up, stopped.
So you basically was skipping that car.
Yeah, so I was really trying to get in there, but the car moved up. And it was another spot, I think, in front in front of the car that moved up, but this car moved up to the next one. The car that was behind it just moved right into it, so I really couldn't even get in. So now I gotta go all the way back around to the back of the line because I was listening to
Bruh.
another person, and I wouldn't have done that if he didn't say anything.
I low key can guess what friend that was, but I ain't gonna say it.
But it was just like I was like, bro, I wouldn't have done that if I didn't have any other influences in the
Facts.
back seat. So I'll say that to say like sometimes being by yourself, you just have clearer thoughts, and everything is really on you. And then you're isolated, putting the phone down, locking in, and really just you can't lock in if you don't have a plan. You need to put a plan in place so that you can get to where you're trying to get to. But also, like you said, block out the noise. It's either easier said than done for sure.
For sure.
Definitely easier said than done. But given the attention span, the lack of attention that people are giving nowadays, that's a big one too because people get distracted so easily. You go on social media, you got this thing popping up. Like you ever like went on your phone to do something specific and then you never did what you was gonna do because
Yo.
you got distracted.
Yes, it'd be embarrassing on the road. It's like, okay, I'm glad nobody peeped what I just did because I don't remember what I was supposed to be doing. Like, I don't know why. Man, I'm glad you brought that up because I'm like, I can't be the only person that do that. But bro,
I feel like that happens so often. And one thing that really helped me not do that was turning my phone to black and white. Once I did that, like the grayscale, so like your whole phone is like black and white.
What? What you mean?
Like the whole phone is black and white. Like it's black, gray, white. Like that's just what it is. You don't have no color.
So you wait, like in your apps? Are you saying you jump on
whole
Instagram?
phone,
What we're making right now is gonna be black and white. Is that what you're saying?
The YouTube sign is gonna be gray. We're gonna have on gray,
You
black,
be
or
doing
white.
that?
Sometimes, yeah, but low key, it helps so much because once we go onto the phone, you got a whole bunch of colors, and the colors just popping out at you. You got a whole bunch of distracting. Like as soon as you open it, it's like a dopamine shot.
Yeah.
And that's where we get distracted. But if it's gray, then it's like everything pretty much looks the same.
Yeah,
and
real
you know
monotone.
exactly where you're going because you're not distracted from that big dopamine shot.
Yo, for real quick, man. There's been times where somebody will call me, I pick it up, we talking. Next thing you know, get off. Oh yeah, let me go write this email. I mess around, hit the messages app, and forget like, wait, was I doing a text? And this is gone. It's like, damn, hold on. Like that's just one example, but bro, I got too much going on. That's why I always think like, damn, I might need a little assistant, like, or if I had somebody who would hold my phone and do the things I told you to do, I would be way more productive. But who would do that job? If you're gonna do that job, let me know. But I don't think anybody would do that.
And they want a salary if they
I
do.
would literally. This is the way I look at how that would work. I would pay that person a salary, understanding that their function is to help me focus on making more money.
Facts.
So if you was my assistant, I wouldn't have a problem saying, all right, well, this is the job. It's gonna be 50,000 because in my head, because of you, I'm gonna make another 100,000. So the 50 is okay.
Yeah.
And if it works out, oh shoot, I might give him 60, 70 because the whole point of me paying you is to make more money.
Facts.
So that's how I would do it. And it would force me to do it because I know that if I'm giving you 50 and I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do and I end up only really making 50, I just did all that for no reason. So it would force me to go hard.
Facts.
Yeah.
And do more and find new ways to do stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and focus on the highest income generating thing I can do. Like if I have an assistant, it would be like, yeah, text this person. It wouldn't be like, yo, figure out how to build this business. It wouldn't. It would just be text this person real quick. All right, cool. Write this email. It would be probably hella boring, but that's what I would need. So
yeah, no, that's real. That's real. And I don't know. It's kind of just hard to think about that. Like, it definitely like from my viewpoint, it's like I'm so in the beginning of everything. It's like hard to even see that. Like, can I even have an assistant in a couple of years?
Bro, it's supposed to feel like that. It's supposed to, because right now I feel like, yeah, I want an assistant, but also it's like, well, you got AI. You could use AI to do da 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 da. Nah, I need an actual soul, a person of somebody who, and this is my thing. My assistant would be basically gearing up to do everything I do for themselves. I wouldn't have somebody as assistant to be assistant forever. It would be literally, this is how I do everything, so that when you're ready, you already know it. You've been doing it, and then they can move on.
Right.
And then I will get another one. But the point would be kind of like to give back, because it's really hard to explain what I do. But if somebody were to do it, they can run all the same plays themselves. So yeah,
And they seeing all of the back end.
exactly.
What goes
And
on the back end.
the stuff that a lot of people don't know. You know. So yeah.
So given like, when we all have like goals and, objectives that we want to get to in life, they say that your goals should be like, it should feel impossible.
Bro, I agree, 100%.
And I feel like, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years, I'd be turning 40. I'm gonna tell my wife, if you don't want to work, you don't gotta work, because in these 5 years, my plan is to be able to generate more income than both of us right now combined. And I can easily, I'm not gonna say easily, but I can do it. 5 years from now, I'm gonna be probably better shape because I'm still gonna be 5 a.m. gym type dude. Hopefully, I stop eating my kids' snacks. That's what be killing me. Some fruit snacks be hitting late night. But anyway, so yeah, so that's that. I probably living in the same home, but maybe own some investment property. My kids will be getting ready for middle school. But to be honest, by then, for real, I probably will have an assistant, or I might tell my wife, like, you can be my assistant. And here's what I mean by telling my wife she doesn't have to work. I would basically employ her through my business, because I'm not just gonna hand her money.
Yeah.
I need them tax benefits, so she would be
like bookkeeping or something.
She would be whatever she wanted to do, but I wouldn't just be paying her for no reason. That's where people mess up, and I wouldn't have it so that, because my wife, she ambitious. She gonna make her own money. I'm thinking she probably gonna be like, I'm still gonna work. But if she tired of her job and I say, come work with me, I will teach you everything, then my company will be paying her so that, okay, we get those tax benefits, but also she has a lot more freedom.
And that's what it's about.
Exactly. And on top of that, it wouldn't be, and this is what I was getting at, like this is what I hear. I could be wrong. I'm not that dude, but I hear dudes will be, oh, I'm gonna pay all the bills. And then your girl come ask you, yo, let me get a couple dollars for a soda. And you're like, nah, I'm not doing that. I've seen that be the case, and the next thing you know, your girl got a job because she feeling away because you didn't want to give her some money, because now it seems like she can't have money unless you say so. Women are too smart for that these days.
Yeah.
Maybe in the 70s that would have worked, but I'm not gonna have my wife like waiting on me to hand her money. It's gonna be, you get a salary. Facts. And that salary has to match or be more than what you already make, or this don't make sense. But that's how I want to do that. And then by then, bro, I'm only gonna work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. I'm seeing clients those days. Mondays and Fridays is like, I'm chilling, I'm meditating, I'm at the gym, I'm doing whatever I feel like. And if I want to work them days, I will. But I want to super grind Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Like, I'm talking probably 12-hour days. But I would rather do 12-hour days in the middle of the week and be chilling on the ends of the week. So that's,
you got 4 days to chill.
Exactly. I'm literally working on that now. Like, once after this year, I'm probably not gonna be at the office. And if I am at the office, it's only gonna be on those days. And on Fridays, we might be out here. We might go on a trip and be gone until Wednesday, or not Wednesday, but Monday or Tuesday, if that's what we want to do.
Because you can.
Right. That's how I want it. And if I'm still like actively working, helping clients, I'm never gonna set anybody a meeting unless it's on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. And I might be doing 7 o'clock at night after work kind of stuff for somebody, but that's how I want to do it. And then we're gonna be chilling, especially Mondays. Like, Mondays is cool. I love this podcast, but it's like, I'm not gonna be 40 years old working Mondays unless I feel like it. Yeah, that's just what it is. That's mine.
Dang. Okay, that's fire.
Nah,
that's
for real. I think about it a lot because I feel like what I'm doing now is the only way it could actually become real. So to your point about the goals have to be kind of like almost impossible, I 100% agree, because it makes you go harder when that's the case.
Facts.
And let's be real, if your goals are things you know you can reach, that's a task.
Yeah, facts.
That is not a goal. That's,
you got your blueprint.
Exactly.
You just follow the blueprint.
Exactly.
And learn. Facts. Yeah, that's huge. And I kind of want to, I say, be in this kind of the same realm. Definitely scale, the business, get to a point where the income is a lot more. But I'm also giving more, giving back. I definitely want to have a couple properties.
Yeah.
I don't know how many,
Yeah.
but definitely a couple properties, and just continue, getting properties, building wealth, start a family.
Oh.
That'd be a big one. 5 years. That's a good amount of time. 5 years feels
Facts.
so like it feels so far away, but like I feel like
Hell no.
it's not.
It's not. You know how I always like hack people's mind when it comes to time? 5 years from now seems like a long time ago.
Mhm.
Okay. 5 years ago, does that feel like a long time ago?
COVID. There's a lot that.
Does
It's a
it feel like
lot.
a long time ago? Yes or no? Because
Kinda it
to
does.
me,
Yeah.
it's like I can
Yeah.
remember so much that it feel like last year. 2020 feel like last year.
Really.
That's just me. Maybe, but I
And
always say that to people because if I told you, yo, you'll be a millionaire, it's gonna take 25 years though. You might be like, shit, I'm trying to be a millionaire before that, which is nothing wrong with it. But if I say, well, you're 25 now, does it feel like it kind of flew by? Do you feel like, maybe? Okay then. So
Yeah.
it's literally the same amount of time.
Yeah.
But
Facts.
behind you seems so quick. In front of you seems so long. Like that's all in your mind. I'm just showing you that time is all relative. So like 25 years is 25 years. Whether it feels short or long, it's still the same amount of time.
Facts.
So keep that in mind because in 25 years, you'll be 50. You're going to think
That's a
about this
fact.
episode like, damn, yo, he did say that. And it's going to happen quicker than you think.
I'm 50. Damn.
Yeah, bro. 50-year-old NA.V.O.
Damn. I don't know where I'd be at 50.
The gym.
Probably. Most likely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie.
Especially if you don't.
It's a lifestyle. At this
Exactly.
point,
If you don't necessarily have to work, the gym is probably the only place you would go like willingly.
Yeah.
Other
I'd
than your
probably
house.
spend a lot of time there. Like I'd probably just go to the gym just to chill.
Yeah.
Like work out and then just go like
Yeah.
chill, talk to people.
You would be one of those dudes. Maybe playing pickleball or something random, just because. Why not? Like
Being super active. They say like the
Exactly.
more you work out, you just add longevity onto your life when
That's a
you're working
fact.
out. And working out improves your brain. Like it makes you like they say like when you stop learning, you start dying. That's so true
Facts.
because when you working out, you're allowing your brain to not age fast. Like it's aging way slower, and you're actually. And then if you combine that with reading, and actually exercising your brain, you actually expand your life expectancy.
Like I believe it. I mean, think about it this way, bro. Like, let's be honest. If you were even a little active, and you're working out, you're doing things like you got a lot more clarity than somebody who just sitting, doing nothing, maybe watching TV. It's kind of easy to understand that is the case. You know what I mean? And that's why, to be honest, that's why I go to the gym early in the morning because it's like, if I don't, it's probably not gonna happen throughout the day. And on top of that, it's like I will walk out of the gym at 6:30 in the morning feeling like I'm ready. Let's go. And
Nice.
you don't really get that feeling doing anything else.
Yeah.
Like if I sat and watched TV for an hour, I'm not gonna feel like that. I'm gonna keep watching TV maybe or fall asleep.
Probably taking that.
But that blood flowing, and especially you any kind of workout you're doing, you literally are kind of like getting your organs going, getting them moving, right? So if you do that early in the day, and then you come home, take a shower, eat something, by like 7, 8, or whatever time it may be, there's nothing that you really worried about. You like I'm lit. Let's go.
Facts. I worked out today. Got some work done.
Yeah.
Feeling good. Honestly, I don't really feel like awake until I leave the gym.
Damn.
Like I be up, but I don't be awake until I leave the gym.
No,
And that's how I
facts.
know, like, okay, cool, I have to do this because this is making me feel
Yeah.
super woke.
It
Like,
worked.
Like my brain is awake, my eyes are, I'm up. Like it's like I took like 3 cups of coffee when I leave the gym. Like I don't know. And then I'm like super like, especially in the morning, because I can get say I don't go to the gym in the morning, then I like go into the office, and we there for a meeting. Like I'll be there, but it's like I'm low key not really comprehending.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Kind of
Like,
checked out.
yeah, especially if it's like first thing in the morning. But when I go to the gym and then I go to the office, then it's like, okay, cool. I'm hearing everything.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
To kind of pivot a little bit, so to touch on the community.
Yeah.
Why is it important to leave a positive impact on the community, and what makes you like want to do it?
Bro, that question right there could have been a whole pot.
Nah, that's a
But I'm
fact.
about to go in. I'm about to go in. So, all right, first things first. Um, the community, especially the community I grew up in, it needs. I feel like it needs somebody like me. Like I just feel that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. Who knows? But
Mhm.
what I'm saying is, the little kids I see playing basketball outside or just doing anything, what do they see most of the time? Probably people who are not at their best. So I'm a big believer in exposure and just being able to kind of, take advantage of the environment you're in. So if I'm never coming to a community I want to serve, I'm robbing them of, everything that I could provide.
Mhm.
The other thing is when I was growing up, it was no person that I could actually look up to in my community. It might have been athletes or whatever,
Mhm.
but the people in my community, even if I looked up to them, I kind of knew I didn't want to do exactly what they did.
Mhm.
So that's one thing. The other thing is, how can we make the world a better place without serving our community? Like,
Mhm.
I would hope 25 years from now or 10, 5, whatever, that we've helped create maybe some preteens or teenagers who've grown into, like, you know, good dudes.
Mhm.
You could say whatever you want to say about, the next generations or our youth, but they're all products of their environment. So if you don't want people, shooting, stabbing, robbing, whatever, you have to provide, and when I say you, I guess I'm talking about myself, you got to provide an image of somebody who is doing what they're supposed to do, even though they're not necessarily being told to do it.
Mhm.
The other thing is, I'm an older brother, right? So ever since I had little brothers, I just felt like I got to do something to make them see how important it is to be a good person.
Mhm.
So that was that. Now I'm a father, so it's like times 100 or whatever. But what I'm saying is, my younger brothers, I think they're gonna be like they 26 and 28. As they get into their 30s, they might be better men based on examples I might have set,
Mhm.
and that might trickle down to their friends and other things. And
Facts.
then with my sons, it's like they so little that everything I do is subject to be they might be doing it too.
Mhm.
So I spend time with my kids every day. So it's like the more they see me loving their mom, making sure that there's food in the house, making sure that it's something fun to do, making sure whatever, that's going to show them, hey, this is how you're supposed to be a man.
Mhm.
Here's the realer part though, like when things aren't the best, or when I'm trying to figure something out, or no matter what it is, that's just like a subpar situation. Me navigating my way out of it, they got to see that too.
Mhm.
Because if I have them thinking everything is so easy and there's no problems and everything happens the way I want, I'm 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 deceiving them. So that now when they come into a situation where you got a little adversity, they won't know what to do.
Mhm.
Right? So I don't want that. I want them to know like, yeah, everything is not easy. Everything is not just falling into place. But here are the things I did to make sure that I kind of found a way.
Mhm.
So that's a big thing. And then I guess to kind of round it all out, let's just say, let's just say I'm a businessman in the community and I own a business that's doing, let's say, 1 million a year. First and foremost, I use the million as like a benchmark of, okay, if I was just bringing in $1 million, I'm now in the highest tax bracket.
Mhm.
So when tax time come, I probably owe about 450,000. I don't want that. Who would want that? But like a lot of people don't know, athletes are always like that. Like if
Mhm.
you see, oh, LeBron got a $30 million contract, LeBron just gave 15 million of that to the IRS. That's how that works. And if you don't
Mhm.
believe me, go on YouTube or anything, right? ESPN broke whole documentary of how
Damn.
basically athletes squander their money, but most of the time they don't know about taxes. So then they spend all the money. And it's like IRS is like, where ours at?
Mhm.
So that's that. But back to my point. If I'm bringing in $1 million within my company, I already said this, but I'm gonna say it again. I'm trying to get rid of 900,000, maybe a
Mhm.
little more,
Yeah.
because at this present day in time, I'm living off of 100,000 or less, and I'm fine. So that goes to show I do not need that $1 million. I could go buy huge chains and you know the fanciest cars. I can do that, but none of that is gonna bring me any money back, and it's not gonna help anybody.
Or provide no value.
Exactly. So if I know, all right, I'm bringing 1 million, I got to get rid of 900,000. Guess what? The the YMCA and other organizations that are nonprofit that I care about, they getting some of that money.
Mm.
The whoever's doing the labor and working in my business, whether it be my assistant or anybody who actually receives a check, that's some of that 900.
Mm.
The other thing is like, putting some money away for retirement, life insurance. All of that is money I'm getting rid of that will actually help me, right? So I would probably I already got a pretty good accountant that we build a relationship, but like I'm tapped in with the accountant OD, so that help me get rid of this 900 the right way. Okay, we're gonna do like Mary Nelson. She gives away school supplies, this and that. I would be on that same type of time, maybe a cookout. But all of the money that I'm spending on the community has to be tallied up so I can make sure I'm not taxed on it. But also, it can kind of serve as a ledger of these are the things that this company has done, and Jordan Davis runs this company, and it looks like he's gonna keep doing that. So not only am I making, a better environment for the kids coming up, I'm showing examples for my sons and my family, but also I'm serving the community by not hoarding the money. I could have easily just be like, they didn't help me. I'm gonna keep all this. Now I'm paying taxes on. Even if I didn't pay taxes, like, is that really the life I want to live? No. So there's gonna be times where things cost money, but it's like in business, you got to use the money or be taxed anyway. So I would, like I said, I would be tapped into the my accountant. Like, all right, 11 months out the year, we should have something every month of how I'm basically donating money. That 12th month, that's my vacation month. I'm chilling. I might spend up. I might go, and this is the other kind of beautiful thing about owning a business. I could go to Miami, Puerto Rico, whatever, as long as it's kind of like a business purpose, that's right, getting wrote off too. Renting a car, all that, it was for necessary business, right? So that's another thing,
Wow.
but that's, I hope, answering your question. I can
Yeah.
go a little deeper,
100%.
but let me know, if there's anything you think I might have missed, or if you want to kind of shoot something in there too,
I
whatever.
think that was spot on. 'Cause I think, given the community that we come from, people most times do become products of their environment, but
Yeah,
that's because they have to be able to see an example of what can be done coming from
exactly.
this place. And going back into the community is giving knowledge to the youth. We just had some of the kids on at HW, which is cool, so they are
Yeah,
able to see some things that they can do and some habits that they can implement to get out of that system, because at the end of the day it is a system, and they want us to keep on falling victim to the system, but that's just because we don't either have role models to look up to, we don't have
yeah,
information, or we just don't know what to do. And one way that all of that can be solved is just by watching this podcast on a weekly basis. Um, but I feel like that's super important, because giving back to the community is one of the biggest things that we can do. Like once we leave, the earth, or once we, leave the city or whatever, like we want to have some type of positive impact on people's lives, and help people improve their lifestyle, improve their income, improve
yeah,
their overall quality of life in general, versus becoming a number or a statistic or a product of our environment. In
yeah,
order to do that, we have to spend time in school, spend time with the youth, and just
just
give
giving back.
people, yeah, exactly, and just give back overall. And I feel like that's just important, because one, like, of course now Syracuse is growing as
Yeah,
a community, and there's different crowds and stuff like that, but as a whole, Syracuse in 2025 is completely different from Syracuse in 2022, and it's been a complete like shift, because it's a couple different organizations that
yeah,
are doing events. You got Syracuse Run Club,
Facts.
You got Go Global doing stuff, Afro Q's doing stuff, Lancaster Gallery,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like people are, giving vibes, giving a different outlook on events, and it's
Yeah.
been the last 3-4 weeks has been a crazy amount of stuff to do in Syracuse. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, this is actually fire, because people always like, yo, it's nothing to do in Syracuse, nothing to do. It's stuff to do. You just have to either know the right person or see
Yeah.
the flyers, and it's like you have to seek that stuff. It's not gonna just fall into you, but also I feel like sometimes people want to go 0 to 100. They want to go party. They want to get lit or whatever. But like when it's an event going on, whether that's a networking event or some type of like rooftop event or some type of yoga event or something like that, people don't want to do
Yeah.
the events. They want to go party, and we got to kind of normalize going to events and supporting different organizations and going out to
Yeah.
different events and connecting with people in the community that you may never have met
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me add on something to that point because this this is for all of the people that say there's nothing to do in Syracuse. And luckily, I don't think I heard that in a minute.
Nah, that's a fact.
But if you're the type of person that says Syracuse has nothing to do, there's only like three options, right? Either you just moved here and you just don't know, you are just not informed, right? Or you broke. And the third one is usually the case because a lot of our events don't cost a lot of money, but like broke in the mind, I'm saying. So it's like you kind of say that as like an excuse to not do anything because you can't do anything. It's so much. Matter of fact, shout out to the Good Time Gang because they just had their whole weekend of. Wait, no, that's coming up. Matter of fact, the Seersucker and Cigars. Like there's literally events all weekend. I almost thought it was last weekend, but really putting on for the town. So like that's just one entity. But yes, you were right. There's multiple groups that are out here making it happen. So like
Facts.
to say Syracuse doesn't have this or that, it's like all right now. Like
You're not looking.
there's
you're
no
not
way you're
networking.
looking. You is exactly both.
And if you don't network, then you're just selling yourself short right
Right.
there. Because if you don't know the right people, like, I don't know, bro. Networking in Syracuse is so easy because it's so small. Like, you meet one person, and then you just met all of their friends, like, at one time. Or you go to
Yeah.
one of their events, now you just met mad people. And low-key, you meeting people that's also doing stuff in the community.
Exactly. I was gonna say there's a lot of overlap. Like you really only gotta know one group because that group will introduce you to like several other groups.
Facts.
Right?
That's
Because like myself, like if you really think about it, bro, I'm on the board at the YMCA, which kind of made me find my way to the Build a Man program. I got asked to be on that board. Cool. Part of that board is making their own non-for-profit, and I got asked to be on that board. So it's like that's what I mean by the overlap, and it all happens with just the start of one thing, just one group that you may be cool with or whatever. And I would say we got a nice variety for everybody. Like if you like playing basketball, we got all type of stuff. You like working out, you like football, you like yoga, there's something for everybody. So like yeah,
Facts.
come on now.
And I feel like, if you seek, you will find, for sure. And just even like the Run Club, for example. The Run Club has been great.
Exactly.
It's been so good people, good energy. Then you got Michael Leary doing Sunday cleaning. That's been going crazy. Been traveling with that. A bunch of people are supporting it. It's a great event, great idea. He's doing really well. And then the DJ scene is pretty cool too. It's not many like like it's some DJs that you know who they are. They got their own crowd. And wherever the good DJs go is most times where the vibes be at. But you gotta know the good DJs. Like if you don't know the good DJs, and it's like you may go to a place and the music is okay.
You should know some good DJs in Syracuse because you're right. Like not hard to find. It's not a lot of them.
Facts.
So yeah, DJs doing their thing.
Yep. And then the music scene is okay. It's a lot of talent musically.
Right.
But I feel like a lot of people just rap just cause.
Yeah.
And a lot of people want to make it in rap, but like Nowadays, even with music, you have to be very strategic. You got to do content. You got to market. You got to have a team. You got to make sure the quality is good. You got to
All that.
work with a producer because you can't even low key. Like I say this all the time, you can't even get beats off of YouTube. Like you can get beats off of YouTube, but if you don't contact that producer and let him know, he has legal right to
Yeah.
take legal action because you used his beat off YouTube. And you can't do
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
But it's a lot going on in this city overall. It's a lot of talent here, a lot of things
Yeah.
going on, a bunch of construction. To touch on the construction, I've been wanting to say this for a very long time. We have a problem. We have a problem because you hop on the highway and you think it's an accident. It's not an
Yeah.
accident. It's not an accident. People need to learn how to merge. You so
I
when you
saw an accident too, right where
really
somebody. Yes, bro. I got it on my Ray-Bans, and I'm just like, it
wow
was 3 cars just twisted on 690 going west. So
really
I'm leaving the office, and it's slowing down. Like, damn, must be an accident, which it was. But I see what you're saying
yeah.
because sometimes it's not an accident, and people just don't know what they're
Don't know
doing.
that
But
because people supposed to
yeah,
you're supposed to leave a car. You're supposed to be a car's length away
yeah,
from the next car. So even if somebody was driving by, they can kind of merge in. They can kind of sneak in. But people have
people
there's
bumper to bumper on
yeah.
that construction zone.
It's a merging problem. But this construction low key is getting out of it's getting out of hand. We need it,
Yeah,
but like
it's a necessary evil.
yeah.
That's what I will
To
say.
live through it
'Cause,
though and have to deal with it every day is kind of like okay, cool. The rebuild, being
yeah.
in the rebuild is like
I'm starting to
I don't
just
know.
think about going the streetway everywhere because it's getting crazy. Because like if you really think about it, some places you can get to from wherever you are the streetway, and it could be faster than the highway,
Yeah,
depending on.
because the most of the highways now is like you hop on a highway is one lane open.
Yeah.
Like we'll
Is that a highway even?
like come on like what are we
Let's
doing?
be honest.
And we slowing down traffic and stuff.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
But to kind of wrap things up, last question but not least for sure. What do you want people to remember you for?
Oh man, goddamn. A lot, bro. So I guess I'm gonna answer this, but it really has to do with all of what I just said as far as like giving back. So like I would want my legacy. First of all, there will be no GoFundMe for me. Let's just put that out there. But I would want anybody who knows me or maybe not know me and they read up or whatever, I would want them to know that I was, first of all, I was a faithful husband. I take pride in that, right?
That's real.
Because that is not easy, right? But I want people to know that that's possible. I feel like sometimes when it comes to marriage, people just assume the worst, and I don't know why, but this is why. No matter what, I keep temptation to the side and just know that I'm focused on me and my family. So I wouldn't want, like, and I don't want to ruffle no feathers, but somebody died and it's like you see several different chicks like, oh, that was my boo. That's never going to happen for me.
Yeah.
I guarantee that's not going to happen. And if it is, it's cap. They doing it because I said it just now. But anyways, that's that. And other than husband, I would say like just a good father. I want to raise my sons up to be good men, who are productive members of society and not somewhere in a cell. Make a long story short, I tell my younger brothers and my kids like never go to jail. That's basically slavery. That's my opinion. But like when you end up in a cell, you are now property of the state, and you have to do work, hard work, for no money. That sounds like a slave to me. So we never spending a day in a cell. That's another thing. So that won't be in my obituary. Like, oh, he got out and was on his no, on my grind. So the other thing is, I would want people to know that I was fair, I was honest, and I always gave before I took. And what's funny? All of those qualities and just the way I like to be remembered or the way I go about things are what helps create wealth. And I'm speaking wealth as a part of your mind, not your pocket. So if I'm giving, more than I'm taking, I probably got a better chance at doing more business with more people. if I'm a good leader and, you know, husband and a father, I probably earned some trust from somebody who might want to do business too. Especially if we talk real estate and maybe I need other investors to jump in with me. I just feel like if you're doing your wife or your family dirty, how can I trust you in business?
Facts.
That's just how I am, right?
That's real.
So that's a big part of what I would want to be remembered for. And then the other thing is just helping build a community because to be honest, I know I can't do it myself, but I know if I'm steady beating my drum, I can get more people behind me who want to kind of be on the same type of time. And let's just say me, you, and a wave of other dudes around this age between 25 and 35, we all are standing on business, doing what we need to do, and being respectful to women around us. I would think the 15 to 25-year olds will move into that space and keep it going. I hope.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what we need. And I'm a firm believer in like, if this is what we want for the world, we got to do it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And also, as it's happening, we got to keep it up too. It's not like, okay, let's just do what we're supposed to do. Let's be positive, and then we can stop. Nah, no. Like that's a lifestyle. Being
Mm-hmm.
positive, speaking positive energy into the universe, and also showing up when you know you are supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So like how I said, I want to work, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, I do. But what I'm saying is I'm grinding them days. I'm not gonna. I might not know. Like, if I know that I chose to work 3 days, I probably will work 12 hours, and that'll be fine because guess what? The rest of the week, I can. I'm not gonna say I don't have to show up, but like I don't have to do as much.
Mm-hmm.
And also, people will kind of understand, like, oh, that's how he operate. Oh, okay, so on Tuesday night he got this board meeting. On Wednesday night he's gonna have a cookout for the kids. Sunday he ain't gotta work. He might be down at some Pop Warner Field. I'm gonna rent out the whole ice cream truck so everybody gets something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to do. Not only because I think it's a good thing, but also it's like somebody's gonna see me and want to do it too at some point. I don't know when, but hey, that's just my outlook on it for real.
And I think that touches on giving back to the community as well, and then allowing yourself to be a person that's seen as a role model that people that's younger can look up to and have some type of like substance. They can gain substance from it.
Yeah.
Gain some type of viewpoint of like, this is what I should be doing.
Exactly.
Versus what looks cool. I feel like being positive and building wealth and being a good person, that should be normalized. Yet we normalize negativity. We normalize get money FB words. And that shouldn't be normalized. And sometimes people could fall victim to that.
Yeah.
I was one of them. I'm like, okay,
Bro, me too.
This is what society portrays. This is what's cool. All right, cool. I'm I was always a popular person in school, so like that just comes with territory, I guess.
Yeah. Yo, let me just say, because remember you started with what would you at 23 question? If you would have said 21, that's what I was on. Back then, 19, 20, 21, like, yeah, I was like that, but
I feel like we just didn't know.
We were products of our environment.
Exactly. And then had that value, like if I would have known what comes with sex in general, from a spiritual standpoint, I could have looked at it differently. It's like everybody doing this around me, but I know what's up, so I ain't gonna do that.
Yeah.
And I ain't have nobody to tell me. I had to do my own research and learn. Versus like, imagine if I was 23 and I was watching this podcast and I could learn. Yeah. And it's like I would have had more information and I would have went about it differently. But I feel like just being seen and being a good role model, giving back to the community, being a genuine good person, giving people value, sharing what needs to be shared, and just leading by example. I feel like that's just super important, especially when it comes to just being a good person in general. That helps so many people, and that's things that we should be normalizing as a society. But social media chooses what to normalize, and they normalize things that shouldn't be normalized. But that's another conversation for another day.
I tell you what, though, I feel like the more we do this pod, the more we talk about it, we are creating that reality. And that's why, we're going to show up every Monday and do what we got to do, because I think little by little, like, pretty much like baby steps, we are doing that. We are basically creating that lane because it doesn't really exist. So that what you just said is very important because it's like, yeah, bro, that's what I mean by like we got to do it, but we can't really stop, you know.
Facts.
And on top of that, it's like imagine, let's say, 15 years from now, and it's a whole different outlook on men, black men, and just like it's a different. I don't know what the word would be, like a different stereotype for black men. You know what I mean? So, I mean, honestly, that's what we're doing every day. So we just got to keep
Facts.
it going.
And there's people that's on their stuff. You know,
Yeah.
it's people that's doing good. You know, shout out to people that's doing what they're supposed to and
For
doing
sure.
things that is gonna, you know, push society in a better outlook.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, as black men, we got that stereotype, but it's up to us to change that narrative, and we got to do that on a daily basis.
Yeah. Can't stop.
Yeah. So, with that being said, you know, that's episode 5 for you guys.
Let's go.
It was a really good episode. And before we get out of here, say someone wants to turn their life around, get some information. You know, I help people with their fitness and nutrition and finance. You know, we both do finance.
Yeah.
How can people find us? How can they, you know, how can people contact us to, you know, just have a conversation so that we can give them a bunch of value, information, and resources?
Okay. So first things first, I guess it depends on what social media you like. But I'm Jordan Davis on most platforms. Instagram is Jordan DeLorean, just because I think that's a pretty cool car. But LinkedIn, Jordan Davis. Facebook, Jordan Davis. You know, like and subscribe to the pod. That's another thing because we will see that and we might reach out. Hey, let's have a conversation. The other thing is, if you wake up early enough, you'll find me at the YMCA. Shout out to the Y, right? And I think other than that, I mean, I try to be easily accessible. There's a couple people I got to call back because they called me during this pod, but yeah, if you don't know who I am and then you saw this pod, just search Jordan Davis. I should be able to be found on anything.
That's a fact.
Simple as that.
Kind of the same thing for myself. Facebook, LinkedIn, Natron Ash, Instagram, NA.V.O, TikTok, NA.V.O. Yeah, I'm dropping music every week, by the way, so stay tuned. If you want to put some positivity in your ears and get some game, get some knowledge,
Let's
some
go.
good music sonically, tap in.
Tap in.